My name is Dr. Amit Jain. So I'll be teaching you some important concepts regarding how to solve the MCQs of the human metabolic disorders. Disorders basically related to the metabolism, right? So as you all know, guys, like in the NEET PG section, if we go, then major portion will be all metabolism. In I9CT also, the major is definitely metabolism, but sometimes the questions are mixed of both genetics and the metabolic disorder. So in the next 2 hours, I'll try to cover the important diseases, disorders, and also vitamins and minerals and some other miscellaneous topics, right? You already have the PDF, I think. Fine. Okay. So shall I start? Right. Okay, I'm starting, guys. So first, I'll be taking one important topic, and that is vitamin toxicities. Okay. So guys, you have to, guess the answers, right? Okay, so you may be having the PDF, but don't look at that. Just look at the screen and try to answer the questions, right? So the first question is like, let's say, if somebody presents with the cutaneous flushing, acute liver failure, maculopathies, glucose intolerance, and hyperuricemia, right? So these are the most common side effects, right? Due to the excess consumption of which vitamin? So what is your answer here? The answer will be niacin. Okay, niacin. Guys, we can remember this by a mnemonic also, like new sun, like that is niacin in the Gulf of Mexico, right? When I write it as Gulf of Mexico, right? Gulf of Mexico. So G for glucose intolerance, U for uric acid is high, L for the liver failure. Guys, liver failure is one of the most common question in the exams till now. Like acute liver failure is the most dangerous complication. Right, that is why nowadays the high doses of niacin are not preferred even to increase the HDL levels, right? This is like one of the major use of HDL in high doses, right? That is treatment of dyslipidemia, and especially what kind of dyslipidemia? When the HDL levels are low. Okay, but the side effect profile is more risky, right? So L for the liver failure, F for the flushing, guys, right? That is the most common side effect that you all know, and M for the maculopathies, and that was the last question they asked in the exams. Maculopathies, right? Okay, or a macular cyst. So these are the examples of the toxicities, right? Then guys, sensory neuropathy, okay, or the neuropathies, right? But especially the sensory type and in the lower limbs, especially the feet. Okay, as per the Harrison, especially the feet. Okay, so that is caused by the vitamin deficiency, that is vitamin B. Which one? Vitamin B6. Okay, so that is your vitamin B6. Alright, guys. Okay, so now we have the next one. So guys, interestingly, vitamin B6 deficiency also causes the neuropathies. Okay, it also causes the neuropathies. Fine. So let's start, guys. Now we have one more example. So pseudotumor cerebri, the features of the raised intracranial tension, that is pseudotumor cerebri. So bony exostosis or the outgrowth of the bone, right? Especially the cervical spine. Okay, and then hypertriglyceridemia and teratogenicity. So guys, the only vitamin which is teratogen, we all know, and that is vitamin A. Okay, so that is the vitamin A is the correct answer. Very good. Okay, so that's great. Then guys, we have the next one. So guys, this term was once asked in NEET PG, and that is called as a pro-oxidant effect. So see, when we talk about certain vitamins, we talk about them as vitamins which are antioxidants, right? Antioxidants are vitamin E and vitamin C. Okay, these are the two most important antioxidants which are also working together, right? One in the water soluble phase and one in the fat soluble phase. Okay, one in the membranes, let's say, one in the cytoplasm, if I can say, like, so that is vitamin C. Okay, but there is one more vitamin which is acting, which is having the side effect that is called as a pro-oxidant effect, right? Guys, vitamin C and vitamin E both should not be taken in high doses because they have this side effect that is called as a pro-oxidant. So please remember this term, pro-oxidant effect. This was a question. The question was asked in such a way that which of the following vitamin, if consumed in excess, especially in the presence of iron and copper, like heavy or like the metals, right? Like such metals. So the answer will be the vitamin E or the C. Both are correct answers, right? E or the C. Like, guys, for example, if I talk about the vitamin E or vitamin C, right? Vitamin C acts as a reducing agent also. So guys, when vitamin C combines with excess amount of the iron, right? Iron that is present, that is Fe2 plus with the, and there is, let's say H2O2. Okay, so that is a Fenton's reaction, and this gives me Fe3 plus the hydroxyl ions, which are the most dangerous type of ions, right? Most dangerous or the most potent free radical is hydroxyl ion. That is old MCQ. So that is hydroxyl ions. So guys, vitamin C, because if it is an axis, it can act as a reducing agent all the time. So this Fe3 plus converts back to Fe2 plus, and this reaction will be in a loop, right? This keeps on continuing, right? So that is a problem with the vitamin C. So it access vitamin C and access iron, both are bad, right? Because the vitamin C is reducing, okay, Fe3 plus back to the Fe2 plus, and which is increasing the Fenton's reaction, what I can say, the number of cycles. Got it? Then guys, vitamin E also has a problem that it is impaired platelet aggregation. It is also causing the impaired platelet aggregation. So I can say this is acting against vitamin K. Right? Yes, very good. And guys, see, necrotizing enterocolitis is also one of the complication. And ye sab vaise, these are the things which are not mentioned in our general books, like this one, the last one, necrotizing enterocolitis. But your USMLE step 1 book, nowadays people are following that also. So that is specially mentioning this complication as a vitamin E, right? Toxicity of vitamin E. So guys, these are the important toxicities of vitamin E. Got it, guys? So that is. Now guys, also remember that if the question is asked, suppose a patient is presented with the with the G6PD deficiency, hemolytic anemia. So can we give excess amount of vitamin C to this patient, right? Suppose one of the options says that we can give vitamin C in the high doses, right? Let's say 2 grams per day. That is a toxic dose actually. 1500 milligram per day, that is fine. 100 milligram per day I need. So guys, that is the incorrect option. We cannot give high doses of vitamin C in the G6PD patient. Why? Because vitamin C in excess again causes pro-oxidant effect, and this will lead to again more hemolysis. So we should avoid vitamin C, though it is an antioxidant, we should not give. Okay, so that is your necrotizing enterocolitis also, please remember that. Okay, now guys, can you tell me the answer here? Hemolysis. Why? Because it binds with the sulfhydryl groups of the glutathione and deplete it. Okay, right? Deplete it. No, not the vitamin K deficiency, right? Not the vitamin K deficiency causes the same impaired platelet aggregation. Now that is obviously vitamin K deficiency is different thing, that we already know. So hemolysis. Okay, so answer will be vitamin K. Okay, vitamin K in excess, especially which type of vitamin K, guys? Vitamin K2, that is called as mannadione. Okay, sorry, vitamin K3, that is called as mannadione. Okay, K3, right? K1 is phylloquinone, K2 is mannaquinone, that is naturally produced in our body, K2. And K3 is the water-soluble form actually. So this is the problem, right? Okay. Now guys, just a quick revision of because guys, remember, in exams, as you all know, vitamins will be there for sure, right? If any question is asked, from any subject, that can be related to vitamins or their deficiencies or their toxicities or their test names of their test. But definitely don't waste your time. Most of the time you will never be asked about their doses, except the few like folic acid in pregnancy and all the things, right? So no problem in that. Okay, so guys, deficiency of fat soluble vitamins, you can easily say this is night blindness, and on the skin it is phrinoderma, right? On the skin we have specially asked in the recent times phrinoderma or follicular hyperkeratosis. What is the other name? That is called as follicular hyperkeratosis. That is also known as. Okay guys, so that is your vitamin A. That is most simple, I think. Okay, and now guys, which vitamin deficiency causes spinocerebellar ataxia and the hemolytic anemia, right? So vitamin E is the answer. Yes, toad skin. Very good. So toad skin is the correct one, right? So deficiency of fat soluble vitamin. So guys, which vitamin deficiency now causes this? That is vitamin E. Correct guys, vitamin E. Now, hemorrhagic disease of newborn, again, very simple, that is caused by the deficiency of vitamin K.